Whether it comes to performances and results on the pitch, appointing new managers, or having bids rejected, the result is always the same, and that is Hibs. Always Hibs it. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. And once again, we've seen Hibs it in the transfer market, as they've had a bid for Dundee's captain, Dundee's star player, Luke Mccowan, rejected, with Dundee boss Tony Docherty warning Hibs that they're going to need to improve the bid. They're going to need to make a really good offer if they want to secure the Dundee captain. Now, Luke Mccowan has only 12 months remaining on his deal. He is in the last year of his contract. He has been offered a new contract by Dundee, but at this time, he is still yet to sign it. And I guess Hibs looked at this and they thought, well, Luke Mccowan, 1 year left. We can probably get him cheap. Let's offer 50 quid.
Let's offer 50 quid. Rangers probably would have offered 100 quid. Because you know what? I look at Luke Mccowan and I see a man that could definitely play for a team better than Dundee. But the question is Hibs better than Dundee? They're bigger, but they're not better.
Yeah, at this current point in time, probably not. Now, the offer that Hibs originally made for Mccowan was undisclosed. So we don't know how much they offered. But I'm going to assume that it wasn't much, because despite Mccowan being in I get it, he's the captain, he's one of the best players at Dundee, he's still in the last year of his contract. You have to feel like if Hibernian offered anything decent, and by decent I mean, let's say a few 100,000, that, you know, Dundee would have probably had to really considered that. So we've seen Tony Docherty come out and dismiss that bid and say that Hibs are going to have to improve it massively. So that tells me that Hibs' original offer was really poor. I mean, I wonder if they even offered 100k.
Yeah, look at transfer market. His value is 600,000. So again, I don't think transfer market really takes into consideration how many years you've got left on your deal, etc., etc. 12 months on his deal, captain, good player, plays for Dundee. I would probably say $250,000 would be a fair price.
I think closer to the half.
Yo, I see your logic, right, and I wouldn't begrudge a team.
But I just don't think Hibs are paying it. I think if Celtic or someone were paying it, then maybe, but...
Yeah, but if you look at, once upon a time, Glenn Kamara left Dundee for 50,000, with 6 months left on his deal. I mean, Glenn Kamara was a lot more highly thought of than Luke Mccowan.
Was he?
I think he was, yes. No, I don't think he was, I know he was.
Was he actually?
Yeah.
Nah, he wasn't. Not at the time. He definitely wasn't.
Do you remember the...
I do remember Rangers fans...
The winter of 2019.
I do remember Rangers fans fuming at the fact that they were signing £50,000 players for Dundee, and he turned out to be a great player for Rangers. But let's not pretend that when he first made that move, all the Rangers fans were buzzing because there was hype around Kamara.
I didn't.
Well, once again, here we go, talking about Rangers. I don't know why, but it's Hibernian, right? It's
Actually,
Dundee.
I didn't talk about Rangers. I mentioned the fact that once upon a time a Dundee player left them for 50,000 with 6 months to go. You're the guy that brought up Rangers.
Well, who did he leave to go to?
You didn't need to mention Rangers, alright? Talking of Rangers, though, I wouldn't mind. Look, my guy.
Would you take him?
I would.
Could you see him in a midfield with Connor Barron?
Probably.
Why not?
I think he'd be a decent option, right? So there you go. But anyway, as for Hibs...
Well, maybe that's what you need, more core Scottish players through your team. But Tony Docherty then, he has come out and he's spoken about this big offer that it would take to secure the services and secure the deal of Luke Mccowan. He says, quote, because he is such a valuable member of our squad, but that's not really a question for me. I just want to surround myself with as many good players and good people as I can. Luke is both of those. It's speculation, but that's because he's a good player. He grabbed the game for us on Sunday. He went on to be the best performer on the pitch, and when you do that, of course he will attract attention. People say this, and the other thing, for me, it's pure speculation. Until I get told there's anything happening, Luke is my captain and a driving force around the place. End of quote. Then he went on to talk about how the bids will maybe affect Mccowan for the next game against Hearts, and he says, quote, no, he's got a level head, he shows real maturity. People can see that in his interviews. He shows a real level of maturity. He's not a daft boy. He knows how to conduct himself. Luke became a big part of our leadership group last season and thrives on that responsibility. End of quote. I think the way that Tony Docherty is talking here about Luke Mccowan, he doesn't expect him to be here come the end of the transfer window.
I would agree.
That's just the kind of words that he's using. It always seems to be associated with players that are on the way out, but they kind of he's just trying to be professional. But it sounds like Tony Docherty is expecting McCowan to leave before the transfer window closes, but he's still expecting McCowan to be professional and to give his best until that moment. It didn't really sound like Tony Docherty was, trying or suggesting that McCowan was going to stay at Dundee or they were going to try their best to keep him. It sounded more like Tony Docherty saying, well, until he decides to leave or until it's official, he's still a Dundee player. Sounds a little bit negative in my opinion. Doesn't sound like Tony Docherty fighting there to keep a player at the club or trying to hold on to a player. I mean, it sounds like he's almost accepting, McCowan will go. It's a matter of time. That's what I got from that, but I mean, who knows? They've already rejected one bid, so I guess there's a chance he will stay, or maybe it's going to be a matter of time until they get the right amount of money. Right amount of money. What is that? I mean, is it 600k? Is it 50k? Is it somewhere in between? I think a few 100,000 would probably do it.
Few 100,000 would probably do it, but yeah, good sign for Hibs. They can get it done. Be a big loss for Dundee, and is 12 months with him. Does that outweigh the fee that you would receive for him? I think it would. We see it with Shankland. Is it worth them giving him up for 3 million when they can keep him and fire themselves to another third spot? It's all about the scales of life, isn't it?
See, that's the thing about Scottish football and these Scottish clubs. Like, the offers that you get are so poor that I think teams are actually beginning to realise now, rather than just get something, we'd probably be better off getting none of it and just keeping the player for one more year.
No, I agree. In terms of stats this season, 5 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. That's pretty good numbers. Alright, 4 games in the League Cup, but again, still good.
No, it is good, and you think if Dundee are going to get top 6, you think that they need Luke McCowan in that squad.
Yeah.
And if he's the difference between getting them like a 9th place finish and let's say 6th place or even 5th place in a European qualification, then that would way make up for the, let's say, 200k that you'd potentially get for selling him with 1 year left in his contract. So, and it's the same thing with Hearts and Shankland. Hearts could get a couple of million for Shankland right now, but what's a couple of million when keeping Shankland is more or less going to guarantee you another qualification for Europe, and you just make more money that way. So I think the Scottish clubs are probably going to look at this and do this in the future. In the past, I've criticised them saying, look, there's too many Scottish clubs that let players run down and leave on a free, and that is true, but I'm looking at it now, and it's like, look at the money in football now, right? Every transfers have went up, prize money's went up. The only thing that hasn't really went up is the amount of money that Scottish clubs receive for players. So if everything else has went up, but the money that Scottish clubs receive hasn't went up, then it's almost like, right, well, receiving money for players isn't that much of a deal anymore.
No, I agree. I totally see where you're coming from. But will it go through? Will Luke McCowan join Hibs? I don't think he'll join Hibs, honestly. I think this is just more like panic buying for Hibs. They get scouted by St Mirren. Oh, we've got to show the club, the fans, we're interested in something. Anyway, that's it. Stay tuned. Fog Football, the only channel here on YouTube that covers all 42 teams. SPFL show, Premier Sports Cup review show, European games, St Mirren Kelly. What other channel on here does that? Enlighten me.
Yeah.
Hit me with it. No, fucking hit me with it.
None of them. Also, maybe we update later on the Rafe Rovers managerial job.
Oh, I'll be there. And also, the giveaway.
Yep, the giveaway as well. Update
Who won?
will be decided tonight. Haven't added anything up yet. Haven't had time, but tonight I will. I'll finish the league table and we'll see who won, and then we will obviously clarify you're the winner on the post, and then you can contact us via either Instagram or Twitter, and we can arrange the payment in some way. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's it. Catch you later. Till next time. Peace.